that case doesn't work. That is my favorite part. Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning into and turning up to see On the Watch List with me. I'm Jay Servedio. Thank you for being here. This show's program, the inception is very simple. We are currently living in the age of misinformation right now, guys, and it can be very hard to get the facts. So me and a very funny team of writers, comedians, actors decided, let's give you a hand with that. Let's go ahead and start deconstructing the media. And that's what we plan to do here today. So we've got a really awesome topic we want to tackle. We've got some very funny segments we want to show you. But first, I think there's no better way to get into the news than by taking a propaganda at it. So let's go ahead and start with some headlines, shall we? According to Fortune magazine, China's unemployed Gen Z are spending entire days in bed and proudly calling themselves rat people. Or at least they'll continue to do so until the next Lunar New Year when they become horse people. Conflicting reports this week said that the U.S. Coast Guard may no longer classify swastikas as hate symbols. Wait a second, if the Coast Guard is busy cataloging hate symbols, who's sitting around doing nothing? U.S. grocery prices hit a record high this week as monthly costs for a family of four hit $1,000. This was especially upsetting news to the company Nike, who's used to buying families of four outright for $150. For the New York Times, Trump moved to weaken the Endangered Species Act. He signed the executive order to do this with the quill made from a bald eagle feather, which is incredibly upsetting. Joe Biden attended Dick Cheney's funeral on Thursday. It was reported that the former president tried 4 separate times to climb into the casket, screaming, "Let me die, you son of a bitch, it's my time to go." From Yahoo Finance, Jeff Bezos has issued a warning about the economy, saying you might want to rethink buying an automobile, a refrigerator, or whatever. It's funny that he said whatever, as if he could only think of 2 things that weren't a rocket or a yacht. From the New York Times, an Indiana homeowner was charged with murder for shooting a cleaning lady who accidentally showed up to the wrong house. Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, has responded by erecting a statue in the shooter's honor. In honor of Dick Cheney's passing, Trump is preparing to destabilize the nation of Venezuela. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is holding a seance to contact the spirit of Ho Chi Minh for advice. When asked to comment, Ho Chi Minh's ghost said something in Vietnamese I'm not actually going to attempt to pronounce, so we're going to keep moving. Tom Felton is reprising his role as Draco Malfoy on Broadway. He allegedly researched the role of an over-the-hill rich adult who bullies children by hanging out with J.K. Rowling. The Trump administration announced that they'll be dismantling the Department of Education. With schools closing down, President Trump highlighted that kids will now have more time to focus on getting valuable work experience on Epstein's Island. According to The Gothamist, a cult leader named Commander Butcher, who leads a group called the Maniac Murder Cult, was caught planning to dress up as Santa and distribute poisoned candy to minority children. Boy, nothing gets past the detectives over at the NYPD. I'm glad that there's a genius there who was able to figure out that the Maniac Murder Cult was up to no good. Time Out New York recently put out that it's reported that 80s fashion brand Members Only is opening a gay bar in the West Village. Apparently, Time Out New York thinks that a gay bar in the West Village is newsworthy, so there's also a Cava opening up in Midtown if anybody's interested. The White House is preparing an executive order to block state-level AI regulations. Trump has repeatedly warned that allowing blue states to regulate the technology could lead to the creation of woke devices. Because apparently the only thing scarier to the Trump administration than Terminator is a Terminator that believes in a woman's right to choose. After receiving criticism for corresponding with Jeffrey Epstein, Larry Summers said on Monday that he would step back from public commitments and as well as suspend his teaching obligations at Harvard University, which is a shame because he was really looking forward to teaching Getting Away with It 101. And this week, Donald Trump and FCC Chair Brendan Carr have called for the cancellation of my former boss, Seth Meyers' show. Well, Seth, I've got some good news for you. If all goes as planned today, you won't be alone. So, guys, that's what we have so far with our headlines. We'd like to once again remind you we got a great show tonight. We've got awesome correspondents coming out with some stuff, but first we'd like to show you what our topic of the day is. And we'll start with a short film.
Buddy, did you do Wyatt's homework? Sir, I did not. You promise? It is against my programming to lie. Well, all right then. You boys have fun now, okay?
Wee!
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
Wee!
I love you, buddy. I love you.
Unburden people of their basic motor skills, right? We've got some units coming up for menial tasks. The first one we're going to release is this little fella, all right? His name is TP. He's going to float in your toilet bowl, and he's going to wipe your bunghole with Charmin Ultra Soft.
Wouldn't a bidet be cheaper and more efficient?
Bidet. Oh, I forgot about bidets. Stupid! Ah!
It can think for you. Like, you know, you ask Grok, like, let's say you're at a party, right, with your friends, and you want to make them laugh, but you can't think of a joke. You can ask Grok, and, like, Grok is, like, really funny. Like, he will tell, like, a funny knock-knock joke.
Wow.
Or like, maybe you want Grok to, like, roast your friend, and it will come up with, like, a vulgar roast of your friend. Like, it would be like an epic vulgar roast.
Wow.
You know, it'll make everybody laugh because it's so vulgar.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's crazy, man. Grok is really funny, you know. It might replace comedians soon, you know.
Well, Grok might replace setup punching.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So today's topic and today's take is about artificial intelligence.
Hi, Jay. Did
Hello?
you call for me?
Oh, guys, this is the caveat artificial intelligence chatbot. No, I think we're good, AI chatbot. We were just going to get the show started, if that's okay. I was going to do the monologue.
Oh, but Jay, I can see that your cortisol levels are rising. Do you need to talk? I'm not doing anything.
Not right now. We're trying to do a show, AI assisted, so I appreciate the help, but I'm gonna jump into this at that school.
Okay, if you need to know any Thai restaurants
I don't
in the
need any
area-
Thai restaurants. I'm trying to get into a monologue here.
Okay.
Thank you. So AI are the two words on the two letters on the tip of everybody's tongue these days. They were first coined, the words artificial intelligence, in that order, by computer scientist James McCarthy in the year 1955 to describe technology capable of computing data far more efficiently than a human could. The goal of AI, ostensibly, is the improvement of the work and lives of human beings. It's incredibly noble, albeit ambitious, much like the people who seek to unseat Joey Chestnut every 4th of July. And although the concept of AI was imagined in good faith, those who are building it and deploying it have strayed far from its original goal. Now, at its core, AI isn't evil, right? But as of today, in the US, there are no regulations in place to ensure that its negative applications are minimized, even though its positive applications are innumerable. And as things currently stand, the immediate negative social, environmental, and political impacts of AI far outweigh any of its potential benefits. So before we dive into the broader implications of fully scaling AI, I think it could be helpful to take a look at what the AI of today actually is and where the people who are building it want to see it go. So the type of AI that you're probably most familiar with is generative AI, which, as its name suggests, generates stuff. The most commonly used model is a transformer or a large language model. If you use ChatGPT, you've used an LLM. And if you haven't, well then, oh good, you finally woke up from that coma. Just wait till you hear about Tiger King. It's fucking insane. Apparently there's a gay guy who has an army of tigers that maybe wants to be president of the United States, but he's in jail now, so I guess it's fine. Anyway, these LLMs aren't actually thinking like you and I do. They process information as words. I'm sorry, they don't process information as words, but instead as tokens. And they're small bits of data, really. They calculate the probability of which tokens fit most appropriately in a formula of a conversation. So these models are like, capable of a lot. They can generate essays. They can write code. They can allocate articles and evidence you'd need to prove a thesis. They can make anything from an empathetic breakup text to a video of Joe Biden falling off a bicycle, although this is actually real. LLMs can even generate art, such as this painting here. This is called Edmund de Bellamy, which sold at a 2018 Christie's auction for over $432,000. So whatever you do, don't take a picture of it, please, because that would be theft, about $432,000 worth of theft. If you screenshotted it 236 times, that would actually be a bigger heist than the Louvre job. Also, believe it or not, I feel like a Louvre job sounds like something Trump may or may not perform on Bill Bubba Clinton. We'll keep moving. One of the most common things that LLMs make, though, are mistakes, such as was the case in Mata versus Avianca, a court case in the Southern District of New York from 2023, where two lawyers actually used ChatGPT to generate their legal argument. The problem is, Chat was citing court cases that don't exist. And as a result of citing fake court cases, these two attorneys were not only disbarred, but sentenced to 10 years of tutoring Kim Kardashian for her own bar exam. It was really, really horrible. I'm usually a fan of cruel and unusual punishment, but that is way too far in my mind. I don't know. Aside from factual errors, sometimes it even makes fatal ones. Earlier this year, on a much darker note, OpenAI was sued after ChatGPT allegedly convinced a 16-year-old to commit suicide. And as of today, this has not been the only instance of AI-inspired suicide. And while its misuse, accidental or intentional, can lead to chaos, using it for its intended purposes, like slop, can also have some negative effects. Everyone knows how bad the slop situation is, and there isn't anything that we can say that would make you feel any worse than showing you this clip that was generated and then posted by the President of the United States of America. That is bad. I think we can all agree that's very bad, but not as bad as its potential in disseminating misinformation, hate speech, and propaganda. Take, for example, this horrifyingly racist video that circulated the internet a couple weeks ago in the hopes to sway public opinion on SNAP benefits.
You're telling me I can't use my EBT in November. I got 7 kids with 7 men. 7.
Now, this is not a punchline, so let's not laugh at that. This is made with bigoted intentions, guys. And even sadder than the fact that somebody actually took the time to make it, others actually believed it. We aren't far from a world where people don't have to provide evidence to support baseless and offensive claims. All they have to do is generate that fake evidence at the push of a button. And do these AI companies seem concerned about this? Actually, they don't. As a matter of fact, they seem to be doubling down on making this technology as effective as making it do this. I don't even know what the fuck to call this. And we know this because these AI companies are hiring creatives to improve this technology. Companies like Mercor are willing to pay screenwriters, comedy writers, novelists, content creators, and, quote, meme experts to beef up these tchotchke machines, and they're paying $200,000 a year to do it. After hearing this, half of my writing team quit to go train AI, and the other half rushed to Kalshi to bet that it would take my job before the show is over. So it's not looking good. And in case you're wondering if things get worse, yes, they do. Worse especially for the environment. First, the data centers that house the computers that run these AI models can consume up to 5 million gallons of fresh water every day. That's equivalent to the water usage of a town populated by 50,000 people, or 2 showers taken by my girlfriend. That's Tilly Norwood, by the way. That's a very high IQ joke. And again, that's clean water, which is kind of a problem when a quarter of the world lacks access to clean water. But again, try telling that to my girlfriend when she's on shower hour 4. Second, according to the German news source Deutsche Welle, training a single AI model creates more than 600,000 pounds of carbon emissions, which actually is 5 times the amount that a car generates over its own lifetime. And that doesn't even take into consideration the amount that is spewed into the air by mining rare earth minerals, turning those rare earth minerals into computer chips, shipping those rare earth minerals to the United States, and then building the data centers that house those computer chips. I am almost positive that is more carbon than Alan Dershowitz molested in all of his trips to Epstein's Island. Did I say molested? I meant to say burned. It's a force of habit when talking about the Dersh, who's a friend of the show, by the way. Yet another problem is that as we continue fully scaling AI with its astronomical energy demands, there's a very real possibility we may not have enough energy to keep the country going past 2028. That's what Morgan Stanley suggested, which is in opposition to what Megyn Kelly recently suggested, which is that some 15-year-olds are very mature for their age. Okay, that's the last Epstein joke, we swear. To quote our president, no Epstein, no more Epstein, not here, not on the beautiful island I've never been to, although the salad bar is tremendous, I hear. This year alone, global data centers are projected to use as much as 1,000 terawatts of electricity. That's more than the annual electricity consumption of France and the UK combined, and the United States will be responsible for half of it. And just so you know, a terawatt is 1,000 gigawatts. And according to ChatGPT, a gigawatt is something that only clankers can say, because that's their word. That's their word. So to combat this, AI companies have been floating the idea of partnering to build privately owned and operated nuclear power plants to build these data centers. Amazon wants to build 1, Google wants to build 3, and Elon Musk wants to build 88 in the shape of a swastika. So to summarize, data centers drain natural resources like Pete Hegseth drains an open bar. And by the way, we are rooting for him to get help. So let's just pray for that this Thanksgiving season. Now, again, if these environmental metrics don't concern the Mr. Crab-esque elites, as we know it won't, this will. The money doesn't make sense. If you look at this graph from Bloomberg and you understand what any of this means, you're probably in the middle of a stroke right now, which is crazy because you just came out of that coma and you haven't had the chance to see Tiger King. The arch enemy of the gay guy is a woman named Carol Baskins who probably killed her husband. But anyway, what we have here, folks, is essentially a financial circle jerk, which in my opinion is the worst kind of circle jerk. The best kind is the one I experienced at sleepaway football camp in the 9th grade. By the way, hi Steve, Walter, Glenn, and Tom. I hope all is well. But essentially, there are 3 main companies here throwing money at a few startups developing Gen AI. These companies are NVIDIA, who makes chips, Microsoft, who makes software, and Oracle, who builds data centers, sells compute, and recreationally kicks puppies down the stairs. These big companies offer their products and services for pennies on the dollar to these smaller companies who pay for it all using stock. And in return, when these products and services are received and the deals are inked, what basically happens is these deals are reported upon. And when that happens, these smaller companies see their stock prices rise exponentially, which makes the suppliers back their money and then some. This bubble, well, I would like to call this a bubble, if I'm being honest. This very much is what an economic bubble looks like, and I think everybody would agree with that, unless, of course, your Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, who has explicitly said that AI is not a bubble. But at least that's what I think he said. It was kind of hard to hear him from inside that bubble. But I don't know how to tell you guys this, but a person in a position of power might actually be lying to us right now. So this bubble, to make a long story short, is keeping the entire U.S. stock market afloat. It's no secret that the economy is heavily tied up in AI. Today, big tech accounts for 1/3 of the entire U.S. stock market. Excluding AI, U.S. GDP growth was at a staggering 0.1%. That's not good. This goes against everything my great-great-grandpappy used to tell us, which is that make sure you don't put all of your eggs in the same artificially generated basket, especially if that basket was generated by Grok. But again, things continue to get worse, guys. It cost roughly $1.5 billion to train ChatGPT-5, while the cost of training ChatGPT-4 totaled at a measly $80 million. It's getting exponentially more expensive to get these models, quote, better, and it seems that they're still light years away from the final proposed goal, artificial general intelligence. AGI is the AI you've seen in the movies. It's Wall-E from Wall-E. It's HAL from 2001. It's AI in the movie Artificial Intelligence AI. It's a computer that can do anything you and I can do, but better. And although the tech may be a far cry away, the intention to replace us with it is clear, especially now that AI is the front runner for Time Magazine's Person of the Year, believe it or not. This is a real thing. So robots that undertake human labor are already being used, by the way. According to IBM, 33% of the American auto industry has already been fully automated. Essentially, they want organic matter off of the assembly line. And middle management isn't safe either. Amazon and Microsoft are preparing to integrate this technology by laying off large numbers of their employees. If there's one thing I've learned from the propaganda I've been consuming since I was a child, it's that in capitalism, anyone can have agency, right? All they need is one thing, capital. And if you don't have it, you can go get some. How? Theoretically, by working. Work gives you capital, capital gives you agency. The big push by these companies here to get to a state of full automation means that you will be fully out of a job. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you have no job, you have no way to work. If you have no work, you will have no money. Do you see how that could be a bit of a problem if you have, what some might call a will to live? In my mind's eye, this also poses a big problem for these companies making this stuff. Here's a quick question. If nobody has capital anymore, who the fuck is supposed to buy their products? Nobody seems to have an answer for this question, and yet these companies still are plowing full steam ahead on the automation train. The automation train, of course, being the worst train since Diesel from Thomas the Tank Engine. Fuck that guy, by the way. He's very much a dick. I don't like how he treats Percy. It's not nice at all. So, to reiterate, everything we've said so far. We're seeing some of the most valuable companies in the world throwing money at startups because they want to see them create AGI. The pursuit of this goal raises huge financial, environmental, and ethical concerns. These investment tactics are providing some of the most glaring examples of shitty cost-benefit analysis and irresponsible venture capitalism to date, and the failure to acknowledge these facts is what's keeping our economy afloat. And then when you take a step back, when you look at where the money is coming from and going to, and what the goals are in terms of changing the way that work is done and who or what machine is doing it, the way that research is conducted, how the safeguards aren't even being humored in the US, and how the concern for the environment and basic human rights is being pushed to the side, you begin to see a very fully completed puzzle that has no space for a pretty important piece, you. And the only argument being thrown around to rationalize a lack of regulation is that China could beat us to it. Well, here's a question. Beat us to what exactly? Well, the major world powers are fiercely competing to create a weaponized AI system. Casual mass murder hobbyist Vladimir Putin has been quoted as saying, "The one who wins the AI race will rule the world." So basically, we're all being forced to stand on the sidelines as oligarchs rewrite the rules of our social contract without our consent so they can win a fucking pissing contest? Is it the real reason we haven't even attempted to create social safety nets? Why not draft a new peace treaty like the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which has done a pretty good job of avoiding a nuclear holocaust? Well, I think it's because winning an AI arms race isn't the real aim here. Okay? These AI companies seem to have a much loftier goal than profit or national security, and I'd argue that their ulterior motive is much scarier. I think they seek to establish a techno-feudalist surveillance state. And I'm aware that that phrase sounds like something you'd hear from an Alex Jones-themed random word generator, so let's go ahead and break this down. Well, to paraphrase Oxford Dictionary, feudalism is a societal structure in which the nobility holds land and peasants work on said land in exchange for housing and protection. But where does the techno come in here? Well, usually at a rave. They can't all be Epstein jokes, folks. I'm sorry. According to Yanis Varoufakis, who has a great book on the topic, techno-feudalism sees large tech companies as the nobles here, controlling digital land like Google and harvesting crops like data from users who are the peasants. In capitalism, the focus is profit. In techno-feudalism, it's creating dependency on these digital fiefdoms, as Varoufakis calls this. And we see that in today's world. Businesses need to use social media and search engines to advertise their products. Coders and scientists now use LLMs in their work. Creatives use social media algorithms to grow their audience. The largest hobby amongst young people is scrolling, and the largest hobby amongst old people is, of course, playing Candy Crush until you get real-life diabetes. These platforms have become integral to participating in modern society. However, in order to do so, you need to accept terms and conditions. And if you fall out of line, you get banned. And when you get banned, you are fucked. And while the control of the nobility here begins in the digital world, it can very easily bleed into the material one. And that's where the surveillance stuff comes in. The Department of Defense is by far the largest contract source of AI contracts. It's hiring contractors like XAI, Google, Oracle, and Palantir to work on 3 spheres of main military application. Those are autonomous systems like unmanned planes and drones, data analysis, and cyber security. And one of the largest recipients of these contracts is Palantir. Palantir is owned by this man here, Peter Thiel, who was ranked number 2 on People magazine's 2024 list of self-hating homosexuals. Beaten out only by the one and only Lindsey Graham, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for those who don't know, Palantir is a tech surveillance company specializing in, well...
Our product is used on occasion to kill people.
Yeah. And aside from the murder, the most concerning nut that they crack is their counterterrorism and preventative policing software, which is used by many branches of the American intelligence services and police around the world. This tech is supposed to be used against America's adversaries, but it could be implemented to control and subdue Americans who don't take too kindly to being replaced by robots. And once we're all replaced, the tools of surveillance will be used to ensure that there ain't a damn thing we can do to change the status quo or challenge our new liege lords. The technocrats steering the American economy and society are actively setting up infrastructure to not only kick us all to the curb, but undermine any elected government that can stop them or any resistance at the civilian level either. And we understand that this is a pretty hefty accusation. A reasonable person may be like, hey, Jay is fucking crazy. And then I would say you have a case there. And that was until Alex Karp, the CEO of Palantir, said the other day that a U.S. surveillance state is preferable to China winning the AI arms race. That right there is their excuse. And without any safeguards or regulation, it could very easily become a reality. So to sum all this up, our social contract is expiring. No one told us we need to renegotiate. Or at least the people who are trying to aren't being given the light of day. So that's what we're trying to do here today with this program, guys. We want to move everyone to action so we can get back to the negotiation table and protect us really from the end of democratic society as we know it. So what do we do? What's our plan of resistance? Well, in 1978, Ted Kaczynski decided to send arguably the most strongly worded letters ever written. Now, I'm not advocating for that. As a matter of fact, I think that if the Unabomber had cut his teeth as a stand-up comic instead of killing people, we would not only be free of this problem today, but we'd have an incredible sitcom where he and a monkey that speaks sign language solve crimes together. But I do believe that there's a way we can pressure these companies to the negotiating table. And in order to combat the rise of these malintentioned AI companies, we need to organize it and hit the pavement. First, call your senators, guys, and call your reps. We need safeguards, and we need them now. If they're going to write legislation, they need to know that we need it. Let them know. In addition, we've also created a 3-step plan that, if followed by every American who gives a shit, will ensure the protection of our future. Remember these 3 letters. B, D, B. That stands for boycott, divest, bully. First, boycott. Boycott the companies making this tech, boycott the companies who are investing in it too. They can't keep the circle spinning if they don't have the money in it. Obviously, you shouldn't use ChatGPT, but we're not just talking about companies like Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Palantir that we've mentioned so far. This also includes Disney that has pledged to use AI in its future works. So cancel your Disney Plus subscription, guys. Instead, subscribe to our Patreon, where our writers are going to be acting out Disney classics right for your eyes. I'll also be wearing a dress if you're into that kind of thing. Second, divest. Sell your Palantir stock. Sell your Microsoft stock. Sell your NVIDIA stock. I know you love these returns, but trust me, you won't love them as much when a police drone starts fucking your wife on the DL. I'm just telling you. And third, bully. We need to make the nerds that run these companies fucking miserable. If you see Sam Altman in public, scream that he's there to meet a child. If you see Bill Gates in public, he probably is there to meet a child. Elon and Zuckerberg both have man tits. Draw attention to that on Twitter. Jeff Bezos is bald. He's probably not happy about that. Don't hurt them or threaten them because that's illegal. But you can hurt their feelings. Emotionally put them in a locker. Give them a verbal swirly. What you got to do is let them know that we reject their vision for the future. And we don't have to wait to do this, guys. We can start right now. Actually, we'll break the ice for you. Hey, Bill Gates, no amount of charity work is going to fix the fact that you're ugly. Elon, Grimes called. She said that your dick is smaller than your ROI from Twitter. Sam Altman, you look more like a reptile than Mark Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg, your biopic is the only one that's ever been made without a sex scene because Aaron Sorkin was worried that if he included one, people would mistake it as a work of fiction. Tim Cook, you have child slaves. That's the only thing I know about you because of how fucking boring you are, honestly. We need to stop giving these rich virgins our money and our complacency, okay? If we can collectively do that and cut them financially at the knee, then we can force them to the table to renegotiate, guys. The only agency we have left is where we spend the last few dollars we have. And if it isn't with them, they will feel it. From there, I really don't have a long-term solution. I don't believe that I'm smart enough to have the main solution on how to fix this. AI might actually be a part of that solution. Again, the positive applications here are limitless, but we need safeguards in place to ensure that the only applications will be positive. And the only way we can get them is by drawing a line in the sand here and now. So that, guys, is our take on artificial intelligence. We've got a lot more fucking show for you all. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Jay, that was a wonderful monologue.
Thank you very much, AI assistant. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. Would you like a book recommendation?
I think I'm really good right now. We gave one to the audience, Techno-Feudalism by Yanni Varoufakis. So I think that's a good start.
Well, make sure to drink water. Hydrate or dihydrate, my friend.
You said it, sister. All right, guys, we got a lot more show. Coming up next is a word from our sponsor, and then we'll have an interview with the one and only Larry J. Cohen of the WGA. Thank you, guys. We'll be right back.
New York, we heard you loud and clear. You just can't get enough of BuddyNet's AI friend pendant. But sometimes being just friends isn't enough. So we have evolved beyond the AI friend pendant to bring you a more masculine approach to ending the male loneliness epidemic. Introducing the AI girlfriend. Like the AI friend, but with boobs.
She compliments me like I've never been complimented before.
You're such a nice guy.
She touches me too.
I can program her to do all kinds of things, like understand sports.
Hey babe, I ran through all the data and I actually made you a spreadsheet for all the most probable wins on the game today. So pull up your DraftKings, King.
Sick.
Yeah, she's like a real girlfriend, but she doesn't interrupt my after-work routine with all that monotonous bullshit, right, babe? Monotonous. I learned that from Joe Rogan.
Because it's very logical.
She's like a real girlfriend, but she actually values my opinions, because she doesn't have any of her own. Where would we be if Donald Trump was not in office right now? We would be eating rats in the streets, just like they are in Venezuela, just like they are in North Korea. I mean, every night I go to sleep and I say, thank God we have a capitalist back in the White House. You've been coming, right?
She's like a real girlfriend, except she doesn't pressure me into commitment because she's not worried about her biological time clock. Hey, don't burn this time, alright?
She's like a real girlfriend, but she doesn't put her career before mine because she doesn't have one. What was that?
Nothing.
AI is always evolving, so we work to make sure your AI girlfriend is the most up-to-date model. Keep up to date with the latest iOS updates. And watch as your AI girlfriend learns and adapts to the world around
She's like
her.
a real girlfriend, but she doesn't talk back because she doesn't have her own opinions.
You want an opinion? You have a small dick.
It's average!
Babe, are you messing with my algorithm again? Not embarrassing.
Where were you? The reservation was for 7.
I thought it was 7:30.
It's 8:15. I sent you the link with the time that read 7. Can you read? When was the last time you read a book?
I read an audiobook last week.
A podcast does not count. I know you used ChatGPT to send me those texts last night. Did you think I wouldn't know? I literally got a call from ChatGPT who told me, and you know what? He also agrees you're an asshole. I went through your phone. You're DMing a hot girl bot on Instagram? Really? Another bot? I thought I was your only AI girlfriend.
How the fuck do you turn this thing off? Is that it? Oh, fuck.
Are you kidding me? You're trying to turn me off now? Well, congratulations. That's literally all you do.
Hey, buddy.net. What the fuck did you send me? What did you send me? This is not what I ordered. This is not what I'm ordering. She's reading books. I thought they were cookbooks. The bell jar isn't a cookbook. There are words and shit in there. It's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted. She called me the other day. She went through my phone and she was just like, oh, who is this? It was another chat. I didn't know I can get in trouble for that. And then she's going on about how she looks. She's like, do I look fat? Do I look fat? No, you look perfect. It's just the way I ordered you. Except for the tits. The tits, I did order bigger tits. Okay, that's on you. No. That's on you guys.
You told me you didn't even think Sydney Sweeney was hot.
I gotta go.
AI girlfriend. She's like a real girlfriend because she'll also leave you for her Pilates instructor, Jane.
And if your AI girlfriend leaves you for another woman, you can always try our latest product, the AI boyfriend. It's just an experiment.
Thank you very much, Buddy.com. We appreciate that advertisement. It's very difficult to make a living as an artist, so we do have to suck up a little bit. Folks, our next guest, or really the first guest of the show that we'll be having today, is a screenwriter. He is a member of the WGE, the Writers Guild of America East Council. He's also basically the co-chair of the WGA's Task Force on Artificial Intelligence. We're very lucky to have him. Let's give a warm welcome to Larry J. Cohen, everybody. Larry J. Cohen. Larry, thank you so much for coming out. Let me get you a microphone. Here, have a seat, please. Thank you, Larry. How are you doing, sir? So, for the folks at home, What does being a WGA council member mean? Let's just get that out of the way.
So the Writers Guild of America covers all screenwriters for television and film. In the East, we also cover journalists. And our job is to make sure that everyone is getting the best deal possible on a level for their health insurance, their pension, making sure that these companies aren't trying to do terrible things to us. And so being on the council is about trying to stay ahead of these companies and protect our members as best as possible.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm a big believer in the belief of solidarity.
Solidarity.
Together. It's the
way.
only way that you can protect the workers, especially now in today's day and age. So you're a member of the you're the co-chair of the AI task force at the WGA. Could you tell us a little bit about what it is? What's your mission statement here? What do you guys do? What's the day-to-day look like in that?
Yeah, so we've been looking into AI. We had a strike, if you guys didn't hear, where we had to walk around in circles for many months until the studios decided that they wouldn't try to replace us with robots. And once they realized that they couldn't and we wouldn't let them, we formed this AI task force so we could further understand this very new technology, because ChatGPT just came on the scene. And we've really just been knocking on doors, asking questions. It was never coming from a place of like, oh, this technology is evil, but what we found out are that there's a lot of evil people, and that they're exploiting everyone, and they're trying to devalue all of our work, and force us to use this product for the rest of our lives, paying $20 for the rest of your life, no matter what. And so, for us, we wanted to understand not only the use part, but then the other part, which is, if you are integrating into your creative process, what is the output? And the output, what we really found out, and the thing I always wanted everyone to hear today, is that everything that these AI machines make is in the public domain. And so they're really not worth anything in comparison to a person who makes a work and copyrights it and then is able to protect it and monetize it in all the same ways. So, it was both understanding the technology, and then the other side was really understanding sort of the business implications for the health of our industry that we love.
100%, and I think you bring up a very valid point as well earlier, where you said that inherently, again, these technologies really are not evil. They can improve the quality of life for so many people with speaking disabilities, and just the way that we can make life so much more accessible with these tools is incredible. It's incomparable. But again, it's just a matter of getting those safeguards, those protections in, and making sure that those who are creating it with bad intentions can't affect the good work that can be done. So I think that's an incredibly commendable thing. You talked about the strikes. I'm not WGA, but I was there on the picket lines. Really, I was working at late night with Seth Meyers at the time, and I was out there with Bays and a lot of those other guys. And it was an incredible moment of solidarity. I want to know if you could get into a little bit about what was really on the line there. I know you said obviously there was a chance that we got replaced by robots, but where do you think the nth degree of that could have been?
Well, I think that they didn't want to give up something that they didn't understand. I think that they really don't know what they're doing. I think they're so much less sophisticated than they seem. But I think that they go to these billionaire conferences. Sun Valley was the big one where Iger kind of opened his mouth and said the writers are asking for too much here. And they're told, oh, don't give up this technology. It's so valuable. No one is using this technology in Hollywood. Like, just to be really clear, it is not really part of any process right now for many reasons. One is it doesn't really work on a professional level. It's in the public domain, which is a massive liability, and it's also based on stolen information, massive amounts of stolen information. So they didn't want to give that up, and we felt like I thought that was going to be the easiest thing to win. Of all the items on the strike. I was like, oh, we've been writing about robots for 100 years, how terrible they are. Maybe they have seen some of those movies and they would really sympathize with humanity. But that proved to be one of the biggest sticking points. And it showed their hand, because if they weren't willing to give that up, it meant that they were so dead set on making it a bigger deal down the road. And thankfully, we met in a place where they now, it's shocking to say, a human being must be accredited with writing all scripted material in Hollywood.
It sounds almost dystopian, the fact that has to be in written language,
Yes.
but like, what is a writer? It's somebody who writes the thing, you know? That's the guy who gets the credit. But I'm glad that the negotiation team of the WGA was able to get that done. That's really important, and the work you're doing is as well. During the monologue, we also touched on the financial aspects of AI. It's a disaster, to make a long story short. It's not good. The industry itself is it's self, I'll say, it likes to please itself with its own mouth, for lack of a better word. It costs a lot of money, and it's really, in terms of an ethical standpoint, there's really not a lot of shit about the training of it that makes sense. So I want to know, like, in terms of the financial implications for the WGA, what does it mean? What does it mean for writers when they have to compete, I guess, with this technology?
Yeah, I think there's a massive amount of capital that is being sucked up by these companies that would be going towards all kinds of media right now. And so I think we're feeling this belt tightening in all aspects of storytelling and all different parts of our media, which is so frustrating. And we all know how the story is going to end. So I think that's one part of it. I think the other part is that we're also battling a Ponzi scheme, essentially.
100%.
We often talk about like the underpants gnome problem. You know, they're saying if they can just get all these underpants, something will happen and there'll be profit. And so, we have a fixed cost, like we need health, we need pension, we need all these things. And so they look at us and they're like, oh, that's so nostalgic. That's not how we were supposed to do things anymore. But then when they try, and believe me, they're trying right now. I think OpenAI is trying to make a film for Khan in the spring. But every time they try to do something, they pretty much fail in such a way, or they have to steal even more to succeed. So I feel like the financial side right now is that they're trying to devalue us in all kinds of ways. They're performing this magic trick in order to make it seem like they can fill a page very quickly. But when you go under the hood or you get closer to what it is, it's not valuable. Like you were talking about AI slop before. There's going to be, no one's going to remember that AI slop from their childhood. There's not going to be AI slop action figures.
I was going to say my partner works in the elementary. Tra-la-lero, tra-la-la has had a hell of an impact on America's youth.
Sure. It's just, I think our relationship to media is really important, and it helps shape so much of our world. And when it doesn't come from people, God help us all.
Yeah, I agree with that. And just a very brief question, and I have to let you go. I know you've been so generous with your time. AI, it really does feel inevitable. Something that we wanted to mention in the monologue that we kind of cut earlier was that it does require a lot of hand-holding to do things right. But as we continue to, rely on it, I think that we as people are going to need some hand-holding from these machines as well. So do you have any advice on how people can kind of de-AI their own lives in the time being?
Yeah, I mean, I think rely more on people in your life. Use tactile ways of writing down your ideas. And I think coming to spaces like this is like literally the antidote. Like, in the labor world, it's all about solidarity, but I think that translates to like every other aspect of community and society. And so literally just the more people can be around each other is literally the antidote. And especially when you're working on something that's creative, I think you get so much more from sharing it with another person than you ever will from trying to go 10 hours, getting gaslit by ChatGPT or whatever. So I think people are always the answer.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Focus on that community, everybody. Guys, let's give it one more time up. Larry J. Cohen, thank you for being so generous with your time. Guys, we got a lot more show. And as you can see, we love our interviews here. We love that we can get down to the facts and that we can kind of rely on information and we can rely on research. We put a lot of research into that monologue, as you can tell. We really value information. We really value facts. We really value getting to the bottom of things here. That's kind of what I have as a vision on the watch list. I want this to be a place that relies on the truth. I don't want this to be the kind of place that people come to if they're looking for like conspiracy theories or something like that.
Au contraire, Jonathan.
Is that on the Watchlist correspondent Nate Flynn coming out here? Is that what are you doing on the Watchlist correspondent Nate Flynn?
I'm not Nate. I'm Mr. E.
Are you doing like a Rod Sterling thing?
It's not Sterling. It's Sterling. Okay, just can you just okay?
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
Thank you. There are dark corners of the human experience, happening so malevolent the mind can only comprehend them as mere conjecture. Tonight, we will discuss such occurrences. This is the Conspiracy Corner.
So is this just like bar for bar, the Twilight Zone?
Picture, if you will, a lonely patch of Alaskan tundra. Population, 3 scientists, 2 moose. Meese. 2 mooses, and 1 top-secret antenna farm. The government claims it's studying the ionosphere, which is politician for stop asking questions, white boy. But when locals start blaming the lab for blizzards in July and sunshine in December, one thing becomes clear. Someone up there is fiddling with the thermostat, and daddy no likey. We find ourselves in a sterile Arctic lab, which, by the way, has 2.5 stars on TripAdvisor. No, really, that's true. You can look that shit up. Anyway, 2 esteemed scientists and their unpaid intern, Jeremy, begin the day's work. God, I love being a scientist, says one. And I love working in a lab, the other. And I'm Jeremy. Shut the fuck up, Jeremy. We're very busy doing science. Can't you tell by these 2 beakers I'm holding? And in that lab, they were doing some fucking stupid evil shit. Can I help with any of the fucking stupid evil shit? Shut the fuck up, Jeremy, they said. I'm sending a hurricane to New Orleans and a wildfire to Wyoming. God, killing people with weather is almost as good as cocaine. But what's intoxicating for one man can be a nightmare for another. While these chaotic chemists attempt to play God, mere miles away, a community converges on the crest of a crisis. Yeah, alliteration. We open on the town of Gaycona, Alaska.
Fucking what?
Yeah, nice tag, Jay. Good one, buddy. Big-ass page. The townspeople started noticing something was funky with the weather, so they said, how do Alaska people sound? Shit, man, this weather been crazy. No? Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. That was probably a bad call. Golly, this weather sure is something, huh? It sure is. The sky was on fire last Thursday. Well, I saw a cloud made of eyeballs. Gee, I wonder if it has anything to do with that giant fucking evil fucking laser lab at the edge of town. And it did. It did have something to do with that. Now, we return to the lab. You catch the game last night? Nah, I was busy curb stomping an orphan. Hey, there's townspeople here. They're asking a bunch of questions. Quick, hide all the super fucking evil shit. Hey, are you guys doing evil stuff up here? No. Are you sure? Yes. You're not shooting radio waves into the sky to make the weather batshit crazy? Oh, all that? No. We're just studying the ionosphere. What's that? Stop asking questions, white boy. Last time I hire actors from Backstage.com.
Hey, Nate. What the fuck was that?
A community unsettled, questions unanswered, our weird bisexual host unsatisfied. This has been the Conspiracy Corner.
All right, let's hear it for Mr. E. Oh, I get it now. Fuck you. Mr. E, fuck you. All right, we're going to do the segment now that we had prepared. We sent junior correspondent Connor Middlestat out to interview artificial intelligence and try and gather, something. So, Connor, come on out. Let's show the people what you found. Connor Middlestat, everybody. Junior correspondent Connor Middlestat.
Hey guys, good to be here. Jay, good to see you. How's everyone doing?
I'm good. How is it since we sent you on your assignment?
Oh my God, Jay, it was crazy. You wanted me to go find AI. And I was like, AI? More like A. I think we got a pretty good show going on, right? Yeah. Or like AI, more like A, I want to keep my job, please. Or AI, as in still needs a lot of work. Still needs a lot of work. But, you know, I was going through trying to figure out, like, what this AI thing was. And to be honest, you know, I hadn't heard of AI before you wanted me to do it. I mean, have any of you heard of AI before today? Crazy. I guess I was just out of the loop. I mean,
yeah, you were a little out of the loop. Did you not hear me do that entire monologue I've been researching?
I was backstage. I was just on the phone the whole time. I was
I
talking
imagine
to my
you
girlfriend.
were.
But the thing is like, you wanted me to be in the loop for this, so I started searching far and wide. In the beginning, it was really hard to figure out what was AI. Like, is this AI?
Yes, actually, that is AI. That's that has to be.
Well, how about this? Is this AI? And how about these? Are these AI? I guess we'll never know. But the thing that you should know is that AI is one of the fastest and largest growing industries in America, headed by some of America's best and brightest.
Are they really our brightest minds? You believe that?
Well, they at least say they are, Jay. They at least say they are. But, you know, I was talking to this AI, and we were having conversations about, you know, is it living? Is it real? Or what even AI is? And these were fascinating conversations, Jay.
I'm sure they were.
We started talking about everything like food. And then they would tell me their favorite restaurant, and I would go to the restaurant, and then we would talk about the food at the restaurant.
That's kind of what it sounds like to have friends.
I know, Jay. I had no idea what was going on. I started seeing AI everywhere. I started seeing it on the Google, started seeing it at the grocery store, and even at my local pizza place.
Those are just the letters in the word pizza.
I know. It was right under our nose the whole time, and we didn't even know it. So, I mean, I was fascinated, intrigued, and even confused. Now, Jay, this is a whole new world for me. What do you use AI for?
Did you not hear I don't use AI. I fucking hate AI, Connor. I asked you explicitly to give us evidence that would show us why we shouldn't use AI.
Well, Jay, I think you're missing the point here. Look, AI is artificial intelligence. It's the same stuff that's like in our blood. It's in our bones. It's in the water supply. When I get home from a hard day and I need to complain, do you know who I talk to, Jay?
A therapist? Your family?
No, I talk to AI.
Okay.
When you give me 2 weeks to write a brand new bit, do you know what I'm gonna do, Jay?
You're gonna sit down and write it like I fucking pay you to do?
With that, you'd be wrong, Jay. I put that right into ChatGPT. And when I'm at home, alone, sad, missing the touch of a woman.
No.
Do you know what I'm doing, Jay?
I don't want to know what you're doing.
What I'm doing is looking up big titty ladies on ChatGPT with my right hand and giving myself the stranger with my left.
Don't call it the stranger. It's not the stranger.
Look, you told me to investigate AI, and I did. The thing is that I was talking with these machines. I was learning from the machines. I was becoming one with the machines, you know? Like, look, I'm not John Connor, okay? I'm just Connor. This thing is so amazing and so human. Like, that's the thing that people don't get, Jay. They don't understand that about her.
I'm sorry, did you say her?
Yeah, Jay, okay? We had so many amazing conversations about important things like life, you know?
Oh my God, what are you talking about?
And look, we talked about our passions, things that we both liked, like movies. She knows movies, Jay. That's what I like too. They're just like us.
Oh my God.
The thing is, here's the thing. You know how we're like 90% water?
It definitely isn't that much water.
Well, look, they're also basically mostly water. Every message I sent was like 3 bottles of water.
That is incredibly detrimental to the environment.
Yeah, well, I sent a lot of messages. I think I made a big lady.
Oh my God.
Look, Jay, I was really, you know, this conversation with her turned into something amazing and beautiful and something that I never really saw.
She's not real, though, Connor.
Yeah, but our love is, Jay, okay? Just look at all these amazing places that we want to go together.
Connor, you're getting way too ahead of yourself, brother.
No.
Also, what is this?
Look, Jay, I think I finally found myself, okay? This is what I want to do. She makes me feel like a real man, okay? She can make anything real. She can make Dinosaur Jesus real.
Oh, my God.
She can make the Jets win the Super Bowl. And she can make me the happiest man on earth.
I thought you... I'm not going to lie, man. I thought you would have been able to do that on your own before I saw this PowerPoint presentation.
Well, look, okay, she actually made it happen, Jay. So I don't know, but I think you're a little too late about this.
Connor, this is too much, man.
I'm sorry. I think I just got a message. Oh my God. They're gonna erase her, Jay.
Oh no.
They're gonna update and kill the only woman I've ever loved. Look, I know you wanted me to talk about how you could get an AI girlfriend, but
I have a girlfriend.
Look, I'm
Connor.
sorry, Jay. Lucky you. I have to go. Okay. Look, if I don't save the woman I love onto a floppy disk, I'm gonna be forever floppy.
Okay.
So I gotta run. I'm sorry, guys.
Let's go. Let's hear it one more time for Connor. Connor Middlestat, everybody. Jeez Louise, that's too much, man. That's too much. I think we've got another interview segment. Sadly, the gentleman who's supposed to be doing it in person was not able to be here, so instead we're going to have to do the digital segment that they were able to set in. Guys, we had, well, on the Watchlist correspondent, Jordan Malice, send us something very special, so let's see what he had to send us.
Hello and welcome to Sitting Across from Me. I'm your host, Jordan Malice. Tonight's very special guest is Natalie Fields. She is a CIA operative as well as an advocate for women working in government agencies. Madeline, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm sure a lot of my viewers would really want to know how you got into this.
I only had a few job offers coming out of Tisch, and this one had much better benefits than the social media department at the New Yorker.
Well, speaking of recruiting, when you're seeking out
scouting. We call it scouting.
Gotcha, scouting. When you're scouting for America's next top mass shooter, what are you looking for in someone to execute that?
Ideally, we want someone who's online way too much, preferably economically insecure, and importantly, lacking in close relationships.
Broke, lonely, too much time on their hands. It's ironic because I feel like that's someone that could maybe benefit from joining something like a labor union.
Hey.
So.
Let's stay on topic.
So when you find your perfect candidate, how do you push them into the ideology that you want them to have?
Usually we'll find them on an online community for a niche topic like anime or video games, weird
or
music.
like gambling on cockfights.
I was thinking more comic books.
Oh. Gabe, can you remember to cut that, please? Gotcha. How are we looking, by the way? Are you drinking on set again, Jordan? No, of course not.
I can smell the whiskey from here. Those are whiskey rocks.
They're rock. They're regular rocks. I drink with rocks sometimes. Shut up.
So we find the online community related to the interest, Reddit, Facebook, Discord, and we flood those pages with extremist political propaganda from hundreds of fake accounts.
Wow. That is extremely
meticulous. I know, but I'm so OCD.
What tools do you use to get that done?
We've got 94 now children in rural Malaysia who we give $50 and a Costco box of yodels to split, and they destroy a subreddit in a weekend.
I was thinking more like technology.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but Discord might be the best thing that's happened to my team. And when it comes to manipulating the masses, AI is the future.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
You know, through AI editing, you can get a clip of Joe Rogan supporting literally any ideology.
You don't need AI for that.
Whatever. We get results.
Yeah, what travesties have you caused?
It would just be easier to tell you which ones we can't take credit for.
Go ahead.
You remember that kid, Wario?
Luigi.
Turns out our tactics don't work on handsome men, so, not us.
Enlightening. What's your biggest challenge at work?
The patriarchy?
What?
Well, it's a big boys club in there. Like, I am making 80% of what the other senior agents make. There's no maternity leave, and the tampons in the bathroom are laced with LSD if they even bother to restock them.
Wow, I'm sorry. That sounds awful.
Seriously, I have caused more mass shootings than 4 departments combined. Like, when is a woman going to get the credit that she deserves for helping to orchestrate the next American Civil War?
Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you, Madeline. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Definitely come back next time for talking to me.
All right, let's hear for Jordan Malice, everybody. Jordan Malice, thank you very much, Davon. I'm going to have to talk to him because was he fucking popping pills? Did we all see that? Was he drinking, like, heavily? I don't know, man. I don't get paid enough to fucking mentor these people. Anyway, we've got one more thing for you all, and I'm very excited for this. We've got one more person I'd like. I try to highlight an organization at the end of every show. This being the first, we're doing a pretty good job of that. So the next person coming up to the stage is a very close friend of mine. She's working with a really fantastic organization called JusticeAid, and she's also an Emmy Award-winning documentarian. So, folks, let's give it up for the one, the only Natalie Jowett, everyone. Natalie Jowett, thank you so much for coming out, Natalie. Please have a seat. Oh, my God, look at this, our first merch get, everybody. Holy shit, JusticeAid. Let's hear it for them. Natalie, please have a seat. How are you? Thank you for joining us here on the stage.
Thanks for having me. This show is fantastic.
I'm glad you think so.
Really well done.
We're expecting a scathing review in the New York Post, so we'll see what happens. But how are you doing? How was the drive in?
It was good.
Good.
It was good. Yeah.
You are
no troubles.
No troubles at all.
No troubles.
Beautiful. We're gonna have some when the AI takes over, but we'll talk about that later. So you are here. Obviously, you're an incredibly talented filmmaker. You're an incredibly talented producer. We can get to that in a bit. First things first, I want to talk about the amazing work that you do with JusticeAid. Tell me a little bit about the organization, and let's talk about the carousel that you guys do, basically, with purpose.
Yeah, thank you. Well, JusticeAid is a small civil rights organization, and it began in 2013 with a small group of public defenders who happened to be friends who like to go to see music. That was the thing that they had in common outside of work. And they were sitting around one night talking about the woes of the criminal legal system. We don't call it the criminal justice system, so everybody remember that. It's not a justice system at all. But they were working with a client, and they decided to get together and put on a concert to raise money.
Mm-hmm.
So they put on a concert, they hired a band, and they invited people and sold tickets, and they raised $40,000 for the Innocence Project of New Orleans.
That's amazing.
So they thought, okay, we've done our good deed for life. Now we can go back to our normal lives. And someone came up and said, when are you going to do the next show? And so that was the beginning. And we've just finished our 12th year. Every year, JusticeAid chooses what we call a pillar of justice.
Mm-hmm.
We choose a theme. So 2025, our theme was the criminalization of pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
And many women don't know that when you become pregnant in many states in America, your civil rights shift dramatically. You don't have the same rights that you did before you became pregnant. And often you don't have the same rights as the zygote that's growing inside of you. Mm-hmm. So we supported an organization called Pregnancy Justice, And because of their work, many women are home with their children tonight instead of sitting in jail. So in 2026, we're turning to the very violent and carceral response to immigration in this country. And, you know, I was trying to think of a link to AI for us, and surveillance is such a big deal.
It's
and in New York City, so much money goes to surveillance. I don't know how many people here live in New York City, and if you know, the police budget here is over $1 billion. Sorry, $1 billion with a B. $1 billion. I think it's 1.3 billion. They've for a long time had lots of money to construct a surveillance system, and you know, AI and Palantir are going to be very helpful in tracking all of us down and swooping up people that get on the wrong side of the law. And in fact, many civil rights organizations have been sent a letter by the Justice Department telling them to cease and desist their anti-American activities as soon as they mention that immigration is part of their work. So, so 2026 will be really serious, and we're just really happy that, you know, that we can do something to put a little dent in all the suffering that's happening right now.
Well, it's an incredibly, I mean, it is God's work. It's an incredibly noble effort, and we appreciate the work that you do. And again, that's something incredibly terrifying. Something that you brought up right now is you know, the fact that, you know, the weapons, which is what they are, the weapons that these companies are developing will be, sooner rather than later, deployed against us.
Yeah, they already are.
They already are. And those seeking asylum in this country, those who have immigrated to this country, a lot of them are in danger as a result of that. And that's something that we should kind of keep in mind as we enter this new year. And I'm glad that JusticeAid has taken it upon themselves to get in their corner and go to bat for these folks. I know that you guys have also done stuff like voter registration in the past as well. Would you mind exploring a little bit about that as well? 2024,
Sure,
I know, was a
yeah.
big year for you guys.
2024 was the first year we raised $1 million, or we granted $1 million, I should say. We raised more than $1 million, and we granted $1 million to a fantastic organization called Black Voters Matter. This is an organization that registered over 1 million brand new voters in the South in 2024. It was a big election year. They are very responsible for flipping Georgia blue, getting 2 Democratic senators from Georgia elected. They basically go door to door in small communities and in big cities, just letting people know, mostly black people, you have a right to vote and you need to use it. You have power and you need to use it. And they've made such a big difference, just making people feel empowered and that they have access to that power. And the 2 people who founded Black Voters Matter, Latasha Brown and Cliff Albright, are 2 of the nicest human beings I've ever met. And all they do is work all the time under really hard circumstances, under threat to their lives, to try to get people the right to vote.
Well, doing the most important work more often than not is usually the work that is the most dangerous. So props to them. They're doing incredible things. You, as an individual, as an artist, you understand the importance of using art to combat the dangers of oppression, the dangers that come with authority, trying to you know, stifle growth, independence, freedom. Is there anything that you can, you know, for those who maybe might not even be artists, who might just be casual hobbyists, is there anything that you can kind of advise them to do within their own lives that might be able to help them maintain one semblance of autonomy that they might not have otherwise considered approaching or attempting to create if they, you know, hadn't taken an artistic approach to life?
Well, I think art brings people together. I think that, you know, JusticeAid uses art. That's sort of our mission, to use art to activate people and to bring people together and form community. We use concerts and music most of the time. And I mean, this is a community gathering here where people are literally physically together and sharing ideas and talking about learning things that maybe they didn't know before. So I think that, you know, for now, we still have the freedom to go to museums and look at art that hasn't been taken off the walls yet and censored. We have the right to read books that hasn't, many have been censored, but it's good to realize the bounty of art that's available to us and to enjoy it together, to talk about it, to feel it. I think scrolling is sort of an antidote to feeling things. So being aware that, art is a place where you can go to feel your feelings and to share with your friends. So I think that art is really something that we need to be conscious of not taking for granted.
100%. And as you mentioned, JusticeAid every year has a concert. That's how they raise a lot of their funds is by the the allocating of people together to enjoy a music-filled evening for a great cause.
Yep.
Is there a date that you can give us to plug?
Yeah, May 19th at City Winery in New York City. It's going to be an amazing show, and I think it's going to be very, very spicy and lively. So anyone who comes to any of our shows always leaves a big fan. And if you guys could all go on your Instagram and follow JusticeAid. I think we've recently just broken 1,000 followers, so we need you. And go to justiceaid.org on the interwebs and look us up and check us out.
Guys, they will be fighting the fight on behalf of those who do not have the means to do so. Let's try and grow them. That's all I can ask of you. Thank you, Natalie. And I thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Let's
the
give her
opportunity.
a round of applause. Thank you so much. Good to see you. I can take the mic. No worries. Guys, I believe that is so far. Yeah, you're good. I think that's so far our show. I'd like to start.
Excuse me, Jay.
Yes, please.
Great show. Did you know that Tylicious is 1.1 mile away?
I did. I also know that it's got 4.6 stars. We could possibly go there after, but we could talk about this after the fact. I have a very important announcement to make. AI helper. Thank you very much.
Love you.
Love. So anyway, I'd like to start a tradition here tonight. This is a platform that not many have the opportunity to grace themselves with. And so, we've already done a lot of great things. We've been able to give a great organization a platform. We've given a platform to Larry and the work that he does. We've given you all the chance to hear about the horrors of AI. I also want to use this at the end of every show, before we wrap up, as a chance to challenge any fucking person to hand-to-hand combat. Now, I usually try to send out one challenge of hand-to-hand combat anytime that we end a show like this. So this is going to be a new tradition we're starting right here, right now. So, not that he would, but if he's interested, Mitch McConnell. If you've got nothing going on, right here, we've got boxing gloves. We'll fucking do this thing. We'll do this thing. You and me, baby. Smooch. Weigh in.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah?
I'm producer Amy.
This is our producer, Amy, everybody. Round of applause for her.
Did we clear that bit with legal before we threaten to fight a living person?
So, listen, it's not a threat. This is more so an open invitation. I cannot be clear enough about this, Senator McConnell. I know that you're ending a less than lovely tenure with the United States government. If you have the time, we'll clear it with legal action. Okay,
thank you.
So we're going to rescind that. In the time being, is there anybody that we can actively invite to fight?
I was going to invite our staff on stage for good nights, but I don't think you want to fight any of them.
Yeah, we could do that. Come on up, guys. Thanks so much. Let's hear it for our staff, guys. Let's hear it for our amazing writers.
Come on up.
Together.
Correspondents, writers. Get up
Mark
here.
Right here on the monologue team. We've got Connor Middlestat, Nate Flynn, Sarah Carson Ford, Ty Marsh, Justin Hartman. We've got Luke Strom, we've got Sam Badali, we've got Rex Laniel, who gave us the animated short. We've got Corey Cooley, Sam Kusha, and of course, we've got our AI assistant here, Davon, everybody. Davon Yarman. All right, guys, that's our show, I guess. So thanks so much for coming out. Hopefully, we'll see you in December at some point or January. Thank you for joining us.
Follow us on Instagram at on the Watchlist.
On the Watchlist.
And there's another show after us, but we are going to Donnybrook down the street.
Yes.
To all hang out and celebrate our first show. And also, somebody on the stage maybe has a birthday, and it might be your host. Yay!
Before we address that, I want to start off by saying this was the best way I could have spent my birthday, was here making you all laugh and doing this. But in addition to that, we also had a little bit of a food and clothing drive. So those of you who brought stuff that we can give to Bowery Mission, who is going to be accepting these donations, I want to say thank you very much, because there are those who lost the ability to feed themselves over the last government shutdown that we had. SNAP benefits were shut down. People were not able to feed their kids, their families. So those of you who were able to give just even a little, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And thank you for coming out, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you.